It's a road game for the Nets in this interconference battle. So glad you can join us for this presentation of 2K Sports in the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan. Joining me, Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Now the starting group for the New Jersey Nets, presented by State Farm. Brooks is out there with Darren Williams. Then it's Wallace. Then there's Johan Petro. And it's Humphries in at the four-man position. And for Golden State, Terrell Wright and David Lee are the forwards. Nate Robinson is out there with Klay Thompson. And it's Viadrinch in at the 5. Tries it from the top of the key. Williams, that's good.
Guys, how good is Williams at drawing contact when he penetrates? He's got the strength to get by defenders and then the savvy to get them up in the air and draw fouls.
Timeout called the Warriors. Going back to Williams and contact, it takes its toll on defenders too, knowing that, if they're going to gamble and try to reach in on this guy, they're going to get tagged with a foul.
Yeah, I like his dexterity, his agility, his strength. He's a terrific ball handler. Really handles the ball well in tight quarters. So he puts a lot of pressure on defenders and a lot of times ends up drawing fouls because of that.
Andrew Bogut, he's checked in for the Warriors. Curry comes in for Nate Robinson. A 3-ball. A rebound by the Nets.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
And so here's Golden State.
When you put the isolated cam on the Warriors, normally pretty tough at Oracle Arena. Even though they haven't been much of a playoff contender, the crowd still shows up and gives them tremendous support.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Kevin, I briefly spoke with head coach Avery Johnson. He said that he has a team prepped for the shot blockers their opponents feature and has a countermeasure for it. He said we're going to turn things around on them, getting them up in the air with pump fakes, creating some contact, and get them in foul trouble. Let's see if they're successful.
All right, Doris, thanks. So, Clark, they're thinking mainly about how to tackle the defense they're facing.
It won't be easy, Kevin. They're going to have to take a few body shots before it's all said and done. It's going to be a battle.
Steve?
Yeah, I like that, Clark. Body shots. Go inside early. Try to pound them inside, and then you can play inside out at that point, but try to soften up that defense and make them move around a little bit.
That is good. Mark, you're right on it. Warriors last season, 26 up and 15 down at home, an 8-game improvement to the prior year. Steve, not bad.
Not bad at all. And that's pretty much a 10-game improvement overall. So the next step for Golden State is to figure out how to win on the road. If they can do that, this is a team that could possibly be in the playoffs next season.
Here's Curry, following the three-pointer by New Jersey. Passes to Lee. There's the steal.
Sometimes the short pass is harder than the long one.
Here's Humphries, and Wright pulls it down.
Tell you what, it seems like all it takes is just a little bit of defense for him to be tentative on those layup attempts.
And the baseline jumper, no good. Stolen by Thompson.
Boy, that's a hard pass to make. You got to lead your teammate absolutely perfectly.
Brooks, the pass to Williams. The 3, and the shot is good. Williams has got 5 points so far. Here's Thompson. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Brooks.
So a couple of poor possessions now in a row consecutively. Both times turnovers. That's not productive basketball. That's not winning basketball.
No, Clark, you start stringing errors back-to-back together, and you lose all momentum in this game.
Guys, he's always looking for that open 3. That's his strength, and sometimes the best time to get to 3 is in transition. Kevin, when you look at Klay Thompson, he's not the most filled out guy. He's got some work to do on his body, but he can certainly fill it up. He can really score the ball.
Lee commits the loose ball foul. That's his first foul. Williams dishes to Humphries. Petro kicks to Williams. Back to Thompson again. During his final year at Washington State, Steve, he put on a show topping 21 points a game.
Yeah, I love this kid. Shooting is so important in the NBA these days with defenses having to spread out across that three-point line. The more weapons you can have from deep, the easier it is to run your offense. I like Thompson a lot. I think he'll be a good player.
Humphries backing down. Releases, and Bogut sends it back. The Warriors trail. Stripped away. So it's New Jersey now. Here's Brooks. Connects in the foul line jumper. Brooks has got 5.
You know, Mark Jackson signed on with the Warriors this last summer. He could be a fit for them with his background as a pass-first point guard. He certainly talks like a coach when you hear him analyze games.
Well, getting back to Mark Jackson for a minute, you know, his ability to mentor those young guards in Golden State will, I think, help the Warriors in a big way as they try to change the direction of that franchise and get back into the playoffs.
Kevin, Stephen Curry was the 7th pick in the 2009 draft, and if they did that over, he might be the 2nd pick. I mean, he's a terrific shooter and good.
Low to Bogut. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a 3-point play.
Off to the races, just really getting up and down the floor.
Not much the defense could do there, guys, but let them go.
Talking about the future of Steph Curry, Clark, he joined Team USA for the World Championships in 2010, and to make the team after just his rookie season, Steve, a very impressive distinction.
Yeah, winning a gold medal. What an experience that was for Steph Curry and for a Warriors organization that hasn't had an all-star in almost 15 years. Curry represents the future of that franchise. Well, you look at the Nets' record against the West last year, 11-19, which doesn't sound great, but when you consider they went 13-39 against the East, that West record looks a little better.
Green, he's checked in for New Jersey. Well, it's interesting, you know, Steve, that the Nets were seemingly able to punch a little bit above their weight as far as playing against the West. Clark, I don't know, as a player, do you start thinking about what the East can do and what the West can do and who you might fare better against?
No, I think you basically look at each opponent and try to figure out how to beat them. I mean, they got some big wins on the road against the Thunder, the Rockets, and Denver. Got a home win against the Lakers. It just goes to show on any given night, you never know who's going to come out on top.
Launches it. Thompson with the bucket. Thompson's got 8 points. Williams passes to Humphries. Back to Williams. It's stolen by Bogut.
Come on, he's got to know better than to try to force that pass down low.
So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. That's on Darren Williams. Ties it up, and this next one could give them the lead. And that one falls, and that puts him up by 1 point. Here's Farmar. Here's Wallace. No good on that last second attempt there. And that concludes a back-and-forth high score. Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. Terrell Wright and David Lee are the forwards. Klay Thompson is out there with Steph Curry. And it's Bogut and at the 5 down low. So that's the group out there for Golden State. Thompson with the bucket.
Well, we know he can run hot or cold, but I like the way he's playing today.
Green, no luck.
He came away empty there, and that's a shot that should probably go down.
You know, you look at Avery's last stop in coaching with the Dallas Mavericks, and he found success immediately. I mean, pronto. Did he set the bar too high with his early success? That's a fair question, I think.
Brooks checked in for Green. Here's Farmar. It's tipped. Lee with the steal. Curry against Brooks. Wallace against Wright. Outside Curry. Moving it around nicely. Thompson. Off the mark there with the 3-point shot. Going back to Avery Johnson, Coach of the Year in 2006 with the Mavs, Steve. He proved himself certainly down in Texas.
Yeah, really established a different culture with Dallas. Made them a more defensive-minded team after they had been a run-and-gun squad under Don Nelson. So I have a lot of respect for Johnson and the job he did in Dallas, and I think he's going to do a nice job here in New Jersey as well.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hi, Kevin. Darren Williams was traded last season in a surprise deadline deal between the Utah Jazz and the New Jersey Nets. But for Darren, he tries not to let the trade and its fallout taint his memories of his time in Utah. As Darren likes to say, I had a great time. I hate that the last 2 months put a damper on things and kind of tarnished that. This is one of the most competitive point guards in the league, guys.
Hey, thanks, Doris. There was a lot of success with Utah and Darren. It's good to see him not dwell on how it ended.
Yeah, the humility is impressive. You don't often get enough of that when a big star gets traded.
Petro, no good.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss.
Here's Lee. An easy 2 points on the layup. And it's an 8-point Warrior lead.
How often have we seen him, Kevin, create wide open chances for himself like that?
And one of the areas the Nets really struggled with a year ago was free throw differential. They fouled a lot, and they sent their opponents to the line frequently. But they were in the bottom 10 themselves in free throw attempts.
Back to right. There's the triple. Johan Petro pulls it in. Nets trailed by 8. And that free throw differential for the Nets, on average, almost 3 free throws a game, Steve, the other way. It doesn't sound like much, but, Clark, over the course of a season, that's probably more than a few losses that would have been wins.
It's a fine line, and every extra point you get or don't get can end up affecting whether you win or lose. And, a lot of times it's about being aggressive and making your own break and not looking for help from the officials. And young teams have to come to grips with that. He made sure to get a little extra hang time there just to rub it in the defender's face a bit.
Look out below. I wasn't sure he was ever going to come down.
He just wanted to make sure he wasn't coming down on top of anybody.
6 to shoot. Here's Brooks. He lays it in with a soft touch. Brooks has got 14.
He's been producing all night. It's up to the rest of his team to start kicking in a little bit.
Right from outside. A rebound by the Nets. Wallace has got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
Well, Gerald Wallace was his usual productive self last season, scoring, rebounding, and just being a terror, running the floor. Of course, he has that great length and ability to block shots.
Now a timeout called by New Jersey. Back to Wallace. Clark is only 6'7", but he gets about a block a game with that reach of his.
Well, that reach is certainly an asset in that regard, but it also points to his timing. I mean, a lot of guys in the league have the reach, but don't know exactly when to jump. So it's a combination of reach and timing.
Nets trail by 6. Outside Williams. Brooks dishes to Williams. Gathers. Humphreys with the bucket.
Kevin, nice high percentage look right there.
And it's Golden State's ball. Only giving up 6 here in this quarter. From downtown, Thompson with the bucket. Thompson's got 14 points.
Wow, 4 here in the first half. They're going to need to do something different on defense to trap this guy and lock him up.
Well, they get those 3 points back in a hurry.